It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at a card game called Startups. This is from Oink Games, and this is actually a reworking of a previous game of theirs called Rights. And Rights I had played before. It is the one Oink Games game that I've gotten rid of before because I did not really like it. I thought it was too stagnant, it was too flat, it was uninteresting to me. And so I heard about this. They had reworked the game. It now had a much splashier look. It was prettier. It was more interesting. It sounded more interesting. So I gave it a shot, and I've played a few times, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of it. So here we go. So here's everything that comes with the game. You also have, of the coins that are out here in my 3-player example, there's quite a few other coins that I'm just leaving in the box. You also have these tokens here if you want to play several games in a row and keep score that way, play sort of a longer sit-down session, but we'll just put these aside for now. Everybody's going to have 10 of these coins. We've shuffled up the deck, given each player 3 cards, and then we also just set aside the anti-monopoly tokens over here. And you are ready to begin. The objective of the game is to have the most of these coins, most points, at the end of the game. And you're going to do that by playing out shares in different companies and controlling those companies so that at the end of the game, the other players end up paying you for controlling a company. And so, here's how it goes. At the beginning of the first turn, let's say it's my turn, I am holding 3 cards. And these are the 3 cards I have. I have 2 in Bow Wow Games here, which is one company that has 6 cards in the deck. And I have 1 in EMT, which is a different company that has 10 cards in the deck, hence the numbers there. And this is actually the biggest and the second smallest, I believe, possibly the smallest. I forget if there's a 5. I think this is the lowest. And so now on my turn, I do 2 things. I'm going to draw a card first. And so I draw Hippo Power Tech here. And then I am going to get rid of a card. I can either play it to the center of the table, the common area, or I can play it in my area in front of me. So at the beginning, I'm just going to put that, I don't want it, I'm going to put it in the middle of the table, and I'm back down to 3 cards. My turn is over. The next player, we'll take a look at their hand. All right, so they got 3 different ones here. And here's what they get to do. They can, when they take a card, they can take any card that is face up, or they can draw from the deck as long as they pay to not take the ones that are face up. And so this player could play a token on that card to be allowed to draw from the deck. They'll draw from the deck, and then they could throw another one in the middle, or they could play in front of themselves. And there are 5s, I forgot about that, the giraffe beer. And so they'll play that card in front of them to their tableau. As soon as anyone plays more cards of a company than anyone else, and of course as you play the first one that is true, you are going to take this anti-monopoly token. The anti-monopoly token does 2 things. First of all, when you draw from the deck, if there are face-up cards here of the company that you have the anti-monopoly token for, you don't pay those cards. And so if there was a 5 here, let's assume I had some and that player still had the anti-monopoly token. If they wanted to draw from the deck, they would only have to pay of these 2 cards. They just pay this one. In this, they don't have to put a token on that. And the second thing, which is why you would not just draw that 5 and put it in your hand, is that you cannot. The second thing is you cannot take a face-up card if you have the anti-monopoly token for that company. You also don't pay it, but you can take it. And so this player did that. And we go over to this player. This player takes a look at their hand. They are going to, for the sake of the argument here, they'll pay here as well. They'll draw, and they are going to play this one, giving them the Flamingo. What is this company here? Flamingo Software. That's what it is. And so they play that in front of them. They take that anti-monopoly token, comes back to me. Now here's the thing: if I don't want to draw this card, I have to pay again to it. But you know what? I'm going to take it because it comes with the money that's sitting on it. And so I get this card. And I can again play in front of myself or throw another one in the middle. I am going to throw this one in the middle. One thing you cannot do is I cannot take this card, keep those coins, and then throw it right back in the middle for obvious reasons. And so I would do that. And this is going to continue with the players. This player here is actually going to, they'll pay on this one, and they'll throw this out in the middle as well. Oh, they forgot to draw. That's what it was. And this is going to continue. Sometimes you need to pay multiple cards. So, that would not be good. Though really, this player with this hand, they might just take that 9, take the token. That's a good hand. Play that. You're allowed to play more to accompany you have the token in, as long as they come from your hand. You cannot take them face up. If you drew them from the deck, that's fine. So this player's in a good position here. And this is going to continue around and around until the deck is gone. Some of these cards would have been removed at the beginning of the game also, so you don't have perfect information. Once that's over and the last card from here has been drawn, that player finishes, either discarding to the center or playing in front of themselves. And then the final 3 cards also go face up in front of you. And then you do the scoring. And the scoring works like this. Let's say that this player has, just for the sake of our argument here, this player has those, I have that, and this player has that, and that one. And let's find a couple more here of the Octo Coffee. Delicious stuff. There we go. So let's say that's our example, just for right now. Obviously, many more cards than this would be out. So we check all the companies, starting with a 5. Or you can start whichever way you want. So the 5 here, whoever controls it, whoever has the most shares in that company, would get paid by the other players for each one that they have. In this case, no one else has one, fine. 6. I have them, but no one else has one, that's fine. 7. This player controls 7, Flamingo Soft. This player has 1. They're not winning, and so they pay this player one of these tokens. However, here's the thing. During scoring, when you give someone else a token, they receive it on the other side, and it is worth 3 victory points. So this player gets that. We check the 8s. This player controls Octo Coffee. I have one, and so they get that from me. 9s. This player controls that, and so they get 1 from me. And again, this is a very truncated example I'm giving you here. Many more cards would be out. And then the 10s, we are tied, so no one pays anyone anything. Even if we had 2, and this player had 1, there is still no tokens exchanged. Once this is done, we count up our victory points. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This player has 16 points. Everyone does that. Whoever has the highest score is the winner of the game. And that's pretty much how you play. That's everything. And so let's go back up top and let me tell you what I thought of this little card game. All right, so let's take a look at our target system here for our audience. Thematic ties is the first thing, and the theme here is stock manipulation. Well, not even manipulation, it's like just, set collection. But the theme is stocks, and that works just fine. The idea that other people pay you, and that when you get it, it becomes suddenly a 3 instead of when they had it, it was a 1. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's fine. It works. I don't think anyone's going to be playing this because they love stock manipulation games. But it's also not bothersome. In fact, that's a theme I normally hate. I hate stock games. But this is probably the one that it doesn't really bother me in because it is so thin. I don't have to manage a lot of things, and so it's fine. Aesthetics here are nice. The tokens are very well done. The cards have a very weird, overdone linen finish to it. They're a little sticky actually, but they are linen finished and they're nice. The iconography here is fantastic. The cards pop on the board. It's very easy to tell what's going on. And so overall, the quality of the components is a little iffy with the cards. It took a little while for them to wear down a little bit to stop doing that. But overall, it's good. And I like the look of it a lot. The replayability is not bad, but it's you are largely doing the same things from game to game. And so I don't think it's going to be the kind of game that 10 plays from now you suddenly discover, ha, I haven't even thought about doing this. No. You throw away the cards you really don't want to get stuck with. And if they build up a bunch of money, you might be tempted to take them again. Fine. But you basically just try to control companies. And then everyone is probably going to be hoarding 3 cards to surprise someone with at the end. Again, not bad, but no, there's not a whole lot of discovery here past, let's say, 3 games. So there you go. The game length is on point. It's good. You run through the deck. In fact, sometimes it might feel just a hair short because you're hoping for another round. And I don't have a problem with that. I enjoy that in games. But it does not outstay its welcome. It is the right length for what the game offers for the decisions you are making in the game. It feels just right, and in fact, a little tight, right? Which I'm good with. Ease of play. The game's a little tricky to play and to teach rather the first time, especially with the anti-monopoly tokens. You have to explain to people. You'll always have someone who attempts to pay on their own card, their own anti-monopoly, or try to take it from the center. So that's a little bit tricky, but really there are very few rules here. And once you've taught that and the ease of play, draw a card from 1 of 2 places, play a card to 1 of 2 places, that's really it. So I'm happy with that. Fiddliness is not a problem for me in this one. And then as far as the age appropriateness here, I think with you could even play this with older kids, it seems to me, because it's a fairly easy game to wrap your head around. The kids might have to get all the way up to the scoring before they see how it really all plays out, but that'll be it. The next game, they'll be good to go. Again, older kids, I think. And then lastly, tactics and strategy here. They're simple though, because again, the gameplay is fairly obvious. What you are doing is apparent. You avoid the companies you don't want. Throw them in the middle. Let other people pay for that stuff, or take it if they want to. And you might get stuck with one anyway that you don't want, but when you decide to finally start throwing down cards in something, you better be pretty sure, because if someone else has, if you play, 2 of a company and someone else plays 3, you're going to be paying for it, and you're giving them a bunch of points too. So there you have it. I like that. It's interesting. It certainly blows the original away, right? Again, also from Oink Games, both in the look and in the gameplay. It absolutely blows it away. So from that point of view, I like this very much more. But the game is still a fairly simple game. It's one that if I feel like playing a simple little card game, I'll definitely bring out. But there are many, many card games with a similar set collection vibe that I like much more than this. There's nothing revolutionary in it. If I want to play a stock manipulation game, technically, then yeah, this is probably the one. But certainly don't let me discourage you from giving it a shot if it sounds interesting from looking at the overview, because it will make a nice warm-up game or a nice filler game. So there you have it. That is Startups.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.